Welcome to the Tudor Dixon Podcast. I literally have no idea where this podcast will go today because I have my friend Jesse Kelly with me. You probably know him because he'll just say anything, which I love. He is the host of a national radio show called The Jesse Kelly Show and a TV show called I'm Right on the First, of course, because it's Jesse Kelly. Welcome to the Tudor Dixon Podcast.
Tudor, it's an honor to be here, and I know you are obviously honored to have me. I certainly can't blame you for that.
Yes, I am. I'm so thrilled. And I thought of you when I saw the video that I wanted to talk about because I know you have this like rating system for elected women of how hot they are. It had just been Congress, right? But are you welcoming others into the mix?
Look, Tudor, okay, so this idea came a while ago that what do women love more than compliments? Nothing. That we should rate women based on their looks, and we weren't sure how far to expand that. So when we initially did the hottest women in Congress competition, if you will, we just stuck with Congress. Now, I want everyone to understand that this was bipartisan. I don't want to be some partisan hack. We didn't care about political ideology. We focused on what mattered. It was just looks. And we left it to Congress at the time. But then people wanted us to do round two. And obviously, Tudor was running for governor at the time and everyone wanted her to be a contender. In fact, there were a couple dimes out there running for different offices that weren't Congress, just like Tudor. Do we expand it? But then the tent can get too big. If the tent's too big, then it takes too much time. This is a long, complicated affair, Tudor, okay? All I know is the world was watching the hottest gubernatorial race ever between you and Gretchen Whitmer. I was watching every minute of it.
Well, and I think that she's still trying to catch your eye because she's been doing some strange videos lately, you know, like sort of beating up on the Illinois governor, playful things, a little flirty. I don't know if you flirt with JD Pritzker, but I felt like she was pulling off the flirty thing. Why? I don't know. I'm not sure what this is doing, the whole governor flirting thing. But the weirdest one came a few days ago where she had a woman on her knees and she hand fed her a Dorito. And I thought, I don't know why. You were the first person that came to mind.
Okay,
Jesse Kelly's going to eat this up, literally.
Okay. First, I want everyone to know that I've reviewed this video many, many, many times since I first saw it. I've been digging into this. Obviously, I understand the video was meant to be insulting to us or maybe Catholics. I think it was an insult to Catholics. In all seriousness, it's freaking despicable and ugly and a horrible thing to do. And you mentioned the cringy things Whitmer does. I've seen these videos with Pritzker and now the Dorito thing with the kind of hot left-wing hag on her knees. It was very odd. It was very creepy. And this happens to me a lot, Tudor, so I don't know, maybe you can probably answer this better than I can. I'm worried that maybe I'm just getting old. I mean, everyone can see I don't have hair anymore. Everyone who's watching this, my beard is gray. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I don't understand even what people are going for with these stupid little music videos. They're always doing some kind of coordinated dance thing. I don't understand who this appeals to. And I'm sure because it happens so often, it appeals to somebody. And maybe I'm just now the old man at the ripe old age of 43 yelling at clouds or something. Get off my lawn. Maybe that's what I am now.
But she's older than us. So I have a question for you because I think the same thing. First of all, I was watching the video yesterday and I was in the salon and one of the girls in the salon who's younger than me looked over my shoulder and I was like, what am I looking at? And she said, that has to be AI. And I'm like, I know this person pretty well and I'm thinking it's not. Sadly, I think that she did this. And then I showed my daughter who's 15 and I was like, what is happening? Like, explain this to me. I'm missing something. And she said, well, the song that is playing is usually played when there are two best friends and a boyfriend, and the one friend feeds the other friend and the boyfriend sits there mad. And I'm like, same thing you went through. Why? But the real question is, I mean, okay, so kids want to do this. Why is a governor Why is someone who wanted to run for president, because Jesse, before Biden was kicked off stage, she was for sure waiting to just step in there because she was going on these European trips, getting in all and trips to Asia, getting in all of her foreign policy chops. Oh, I've got this. Then she wrote this 3-page book and put it out and went on this long book tour. Like, I'm also an author. I'm an executive. I have foreign policy experience. I'm an author. And then she wasn't chosen. Kamala was chosen. And it's like she's gone crazy.
She is crazy. And I think maybe what I'm about to say explains part of this, Tudor. Maybe not all of it, but part of it. The communists have done a very good job at dividing us as a country. And I'm not one of these flowery people. Can't we all just get along? I don't talk like that at all. But it really is terrible what they've done to society. They pit one against another, men against women, black against white. They're very good at that. You should hate him. You should hate them. And because they've been so successful, we are much more tribal than we've ever been. And that applies to politics as well. And what happens, I see it all the time now, especially from the Democrat Party, is they have their friends, like the people they consider friends and allies. And it's all the freaks that are part of the Democrat Party. And they consider those people friends, and everyone who's not there are enemies. So Democrats will go on camera and they'll just trash white people. They don't even care about men or something like that. They'll just trash them. But as far as their friends go, a group they bank on now is young, single women. You and I have talked about the numbers, and we can go into all the cultural issues and things around this, but it is overwhelming. Like no other demographic is this committed to one party. Married men, it's about 50-50, but they lean Republican. Married women, about 50-50, they lean Republican. Single men lean Republican, but single women, it's 68%, I think, are the numbers. They're all Democrats. And so Democrats speak to them, campaign towards them, trying to only speak to their allies instead of really doing any kind of significant outreach to the people they've already decided are the enemy. And when they even attempt to try to speak to the enemy, like Tim Walz, as we speak, is doing some, reach out to mentor, look at how I hunt. It just comes off as extremely cringy and not authentic at all. So when you spend all your time just speaking to your people, you do things like feeding some kind of hot feminist a Dorito. I don't understand, Tudor. Like I said, I feel like I'm 43 going on 83 sometimes.
No, I watched it and I thought, this reminds me very much of the childhood story, The Emperor's New Clothes, where all of the staff around the emperor's like, you look amazing. And he's literally walking around nude. And I wonder if I always wondered if Whitmer's staff hated her because they would have her go out in these bizarre outfits. And I thought, if you liked your boss, you would say, that's actually not a good look. Like, maybe don't wear the Darth Vader jacket the day you shut down the entire state. That's not good. People won't like that. But they let her do it. Now it's gone to this extreme of Professor Potato. Remember when she did that video where she was a potato? She turns into a potato, which is just, come on, give me a break. This is not executive level behavior. And now she does this weird, like, sexy cringe video with a chick from Canada. And I'm like, in the meantime, back at home, we have the real chance of Stellantis, which is, Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, leaving Michigan. They've been headquartered in Michigan for 100 years. They're talking about leaving. They say they're in talks with Whitmer. She releases this video. And I have to think that her staff is making fun of her.
I don't know that I agree. Not that it's not a smart theory, but I don't know that they're making fun of her.
They just don't know.
Yeah, I've seen famous people like this, Tudor. You and I have both seen this. We've seen politicians like this. You've seen celebrities like this, musicians and actors and stuff. There are two different kinds, right? I've known politicians who their staffers behind closed doors are allowed to basically chew them out. In fact, I was just this last weekend with a senator. And that's who he surrounds himself with, his staffers and advisors who will tell him, what were you thinking? That was stupid. You don't do that. You don't do that. And he says it's because it makes him better and it keeps him sharp and keeps him grounded. But if I'm guessing it's an insecurity thing or whatever. If you're not like that or don't like that, it's not hard when you're a governor or a senator or anyone else to find people who will only kiss your rear end. It's not hard to find people like that. And when you surround yourself with only people like that, you're doomed. When you get yourself in this bubble of only people who tell you how great you are all the time, no matter what your walk of life is, you are in a lot of trouble because you end up doing crazy things and there's no one to yank you aside and say, really? Are you serious? Prince, you remember Prince, God rest his soul, the artist formerly known as Prince or whatever, but remember how the crazy stories we all used to hear about Prince, why he kept changing his name to symbols and you weren't allowed to look him in the eye, or that they were just insane things like that. And you read stuff and you think, how could anyone get that insane? That's how people get insane. That's how people go insane. The emperor you brought up is an excellent point. That's how you go insane. You surround yourself with people they view their only job as gluing their lips to your rear end, and you will just turn into a nutball.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it is really, I hate saying you're so smart, because I know it just goes to your head, but it's really, I mean, that is very astute. And I think that has always been kind of her Achilles heel, is that she's incredibly sensitive. Everybody in Lansing knows that she has a very thin skin and she has to be told all the time, yes, you're doing well, you're doing this good. But it's interesting because I even saw one of our prominent Democrats last night. She was the woman who spoke at the DNC at the big conference that they had, where she was like licking her lips constantly. And a lot of people were like, oh gosh, what is happening to this girl? She's so nervous. She's licking her lips. But she's pretty prominent here in the state of Michigan. And someone said, well, why is your governor feeding people Doritos? And she said, I will admit, I don't like that. I don't know why it happened. And I give her credit, because usually they like stick together like glue. They're never going to say anything. And she's a young woman, or maybe she just wants to kick her to the curb. I don't know. But even the people on her side are saying, what is happening? And I just think, like, you make such a good point about them going after the single women. I think they're regretting that now. You see Walz doing this pheasant hunt, which is like so manly. All of the really manly guys in my life are like, let's go hunt pheasants. So but I think they don't know what's manly anymore. I think they've gotten so off the rails of the average American that they are so focused on abortion and single women that now they're trying to reel in some of the other people, and they're like, we don't actually know how to talk to them.
Yeah, look, you can fake some things for some of the time, but if you spend too much time walking in a completely walk of life, you lose the ability to even fake it anymore. And these people, like we discussed, they understand the beating heart of the Democrat Party is single women. It is now. It always has been. People think it's the climate change nutters or all the gay stuff or this or that or the black community, because they vote so heavily Democrat. And all those things all those groups are considered useful allies. But Democrats understand, if you really, really want to get elected, you need to talk to and motivate young single women who want to murder their babies. That is, and I'm not saying that just. Well,
they had that conversation. She and Whitmer had that conversation. This podcaster, she actually said to her, when your teenage daughters were acting up, did you ever want to perform a post-birth abortion on them? And they both laughed. How funny that is. I mean, abortion is their calling card. That is their dog whistle. Come to our party. We will protect this. But ultimately, they've realized that those other groups that have been key for them, you saw Barack Obama coming out and saying, we're actually losing black men and we need to bring them back to the party. Well, look at the same governor in Michigan who ended up with the largest mass shooting in the history of the state in Detroit. She doesn't say a word. Supposedly we're the anti-gun party, we're the safety, we're going to keep your kids safe. The majority of people shot that night were women and young girls, women and teenage girls. No mention of it. They wonder why they are losing this demographic. They are clearly over caring. I mean, they don't care at all.
They don't care at all. And they took them for granted for the longest time. A lot of this comes back to union stuff, because a lot of these blue-collar union types, Rust Belt types, Michigan types, these guys are guys who are breaking for the Republican Party. Their leadership isn't, because they're all corrupt scumbags. But the union guys on the ground, a lot of them are breaking right. And look, there's something about taking people for granted. We're all in danger of this. I have two sons. One of them is a straight A student. He's never had a B. He's never had a B on a test. He's never had a B in a class. He's just top of his class all the time. And I have another son who has to work harder in school. It's not how his mind works. He doesn't want to be there. Well, we will find ourselves praising the one who struggles in school when he gets a B on his exams, maybe a little too much. And we've had to check ourselves before of the straight A kid. We never compliment him anymore. It's just a given. Well, of course he's going to get straight A's, taking him for granted. If you don't focus on that, you can end up losing him. He'll become resentful. Exact same kind of thing in politics. Democrats banked on, we're always going to have black men. Oh, we've got the black vote. Oh, we're always going to have the union guy. Of course, we're pro-union. We're always going to. And so let's, you know what, screw them. Let's just do another TikTok video on third trimester abortion, and that'll get those girls we want. Well, dudes don't care about that stuff. Either they don't care about it, they don't want to hear about it. And then when you try to speak to them, what are we, Tudor, like 26 days before the election, you finally decide to roll out some pro-male campaign. It looks really forced. This isn't going to win over a single dude who was turned off by the Democrat Party because it looks so forced and fake, and it just doesn't work.
I think it's hard when the vice president's husband got his nanny pregnant, beat his girlfriend, hit her so hard she swung around, her actual body swung around in a circle, and has now been outed as a complete misogynist in the workplace, hiring only hot chicks to walk around his desk and giving them better positions and better perks at the office if they flirted with him. But this is really devastating for them. Of course, the media is not saying anything, but now they can't have Doug Emhoff go out and talk to the white dudes for Harris, which I also think is incredibly condescending to put that out there. But they've got the ultimate jerk. Like, this guy is the worst boss. He is the guy that as a woman, you cannot stand. And it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter if you're a single woman. Every woman has met this jerk. We've all met him. We all hate him. None of us want him to be anywhere near us or our daughters. And now he will have his own staff. If he has his own staff right now because he's the second gentleman. As the first gentleman, he has an actual position in the country. And nobody wants to talk about the fact that he's a pig.
Oh, an absolute pig. And I don't think I probably have to tell you. Well, no, I don't have to tell you. And most of your audience, women have better intuition than men do about people. That's just the way women are. That's how God made them. It's a protective thing. It's a protection thing, I believe. I've always believed that. But they have better intuition about men. I am going to, however, say this. I know we're up against the clock here. Women, especially you young single ladies, whenever, even if you're a feminist, hate listening to this, or I don't care about any of that stuff, hate all you want. The second you see a dude who calls himself a male feminist, the second a dude is a little too over the top about how pro-women he is, and no, I celebrate women, and I love being the second gentleman. The second a dude takes that too far, 99.9% of the time, that dude has done some truly dark things to women and will do dark things to women in the future. You think you need to worry about the barbarian, the tattooed up dude wearing the grunt style t-shirt. That dude will never lay a hand on you unless, of course, you ask him to. It's the male feminist you always have to watch out for. The champion of women, the second a dude talks like that, he's either a woman beater or he's gay.
You're raising two boys, and I say this because I'm raising four girls, and I see what the Democrat Party is pushing out, and it terrifies me because it is the rape culture. It is the hookup culture. It is the women are disposable. The women can get rid of the problem culture. This is a culture where women are actually in danger on a regular basis. And we are, because now they're running commercials saying 1 in 6 of us will be raped. I mean, they're openly running commercials saying you will be treated so horribly. They never address the fact that there is a problem with the way men are being raised, with what they're teaching men. You have two boys in your house, and you are, I know, constantly teaching them what it is to be an upstanding husband and father and what that means. Why is this not a conversation?
Well, as a society, look, I ain't anybody's good example of a good husband or a good father, right? But I do try to teach them, you will treat your woman right. You will provide for her. I don't give a crap what society tells you. You're not going to be a freaking stay-at-home dad. You're going to get your butt to work. You're going to provide for your family. You're not going to marry some Democrat hag who belittles you either and pushes you around. You're going to stand up for yourself and be a man and take care of your wife. But as a society, we decided long ago, and I don't know exactly how and why this was decided, that everything in our society needs to be aimed towards women, only women, instead of towards all of us or towards everyone as a people. Everything has to be about women. And in fact, we saw this at the VP debate the other night when JD Vance beat the living crap out of Tim Walz, which he did, and it was wonderful to see. Even that, it blew me away. My wife noticed it. We sat and watched together, and I noticed it too. Every single question was about women. My mom this, single women this. What about a woman here? This is better for women. I think it was an hour and 45 minutes, if I remember right. Not one word about men. Not one. Men didn't get so much as a mention unless they were putting them down in one way or another. All of our politics is about women. All of our pro-women, this business world, women. Well, that may feel really great if you're a woman or you enjoy that. But men feel increasingly ostracized by this society. And that in and of itself creates unhealthy things. I was watching, there was some commentator, Mara Gray, I think her name is, on MSNBC this morning, talking about how much men need therapy and men need to go to therapy and men are toxic and things like that. Okay, all right, I give you that. For one, I don't agree. But two, every time you see one of these right-wing influencer types that talks about how horrible you should treat women, not right-wing, I guess I should say, one of these alpha male types. If you allow your woman to smile, you're weak. One of these idiot types. Those guys exist because of the reaction to the left and how they've talked down to men. It's created this divide. It's increased this divide between men and women because you tell a man you're worthless, you're stupid, you're nothing, you're worthless, you're stupid, you're nothing for long enough. You're eventually going to have a barbarian show up and tell the guys, no, screw women. Women suck. And then we're in a horrible place.
I mean, honestly, it's just the breakdown of relationships in general. And that is the thing, that there are things that happen behind closed doors where, as a woman, no matter who you are, like when I lost my dad, you want to have a strong husband at home that you can go to and be like, man, I need something right now. Like, I need a partner. I need someone to lift me up, and not someone that just goes, you're a woman, you're strong enough, I deal with this, and moves on. I mean, there are general breakdowns, because men don't even know how to react to a crying woman anymore. It's like, oh, I don't want to tell her she's not okay. I don't want it. There's this fear of dating. There's this fear of coming around women. There's a fear of interpersonal relationship. The relationship between men and women has been broken down because of exactly what you said. And it's something most people aren't able to articulate that way. They aren't able to say, we have created a society around building women up. Women can now hook up with people and have no emotional connection, which is a lie. It's just a lie. Women can now raise a family without a husband in the home, without a father in the home, and to be totally fine. It's a lie. It's okay to say you need a partner. It is okay to say that. But in this society today, you're not allowed to say that. And it is creating a man who is in a box and unable to connect, and a woman who doesn't want that connection, and because she feels like she's weak if she does. I mean, it really is a mess. And I do believe that your message on communism is the ultimate cause of all of this, because as long as they can keep breaking us apart, we weaken.
Yeah, well, that's what it's about. It's about dividing us. You know, we now think we're against each other. The men are supposed to be against the women are resentful of the men are resentful of the women. When we were made for each other, we were made to fit together. Mm-hmm. I can do things she cannot. She can do things I cannot. We were supposed to be for each other. So all this, all only women or only men stuff is not how it was supposed to work at all. I don't like any of this only women stuff unless Gretchen Whitmer's feeding some hot chick Dorito.
And there you have it, Jesse Kelly. Thank you so much for coming on. This is why I love Jesse, because he literally will say anything and gets away with it, but because it's fun. You bring fun back. Jesse Kelly, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Tudor.
Absolutely. And we appreciate all of you that listen to the Tudor Dixon podcast. Make sure you go to TudorDixonPodcast.com or the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and join us next time. Have a blessed day.